Welcome to Jakook Are Dating. Hope you're all doing well, Jakook fans. Today I bring you a video full of happiness, tenderness, and surprises because yes, our Jakook is back. And when I say back, I don't mean they're causing trouble, but they're back to share the Jakook interactions we've all been missing with the public. And here, as I always say, it's all about patience, waiting calmly, because sooner or later they will bring back the moments we love. And as time goes on, the warm moments between Jungkook and Jimin keep popping up, further strengthening the bond they've built over time. Many armies say that their closeness seems so natural, as if there were never any boundaries between them. Jungkook, who usually appears strong and courageous, somehow always shows his soft side when he is with Jimin. Conversely, Jimin, who is known to be loving and caring, often relies on Jungkook in certain situations, especially when he needs emotional support that not everyone can provide. One thing that always touches ARMY is how Jimin often slows down just to keep up with Jungkook. This doesn't happen just once or twice, but repeatedly on various occasions. When they walk through the airport, when leaving the venue, or even when BTS is filming content. Jimin always makes sure Jungkook doesn't get left behind, as if Jungkook is someone who must always be kept close by his side. And Jungkook responds in a different way, more quietly, but very strongly. He always watches over Jimin from afar, making sure his hyung is okay, without having to say it directly. Behind the camera, their relationship becomes even deeper. Many staff members have shared stories about how Jungkook always looks for Jimin after long practices, just to sit with him in silence. No long conversations are needed. Just being together is enough to make them both feel calm. In a world full of pressure, Jimin is Jungkook's home, a place where he can truly be himself without fear or demands. One story that once caused a stir among ARMY was when BTS was practicing late into the night. Jungkook had suffered a minor injury to his ankle. He tried to hide the pain, but Jimin noticed something was wrong. Without saying much, Jimin approached him, gently held Jungkook's ankle, and asked if he was okay. Jungkook initially tried to refuse, but Jimin didn't give up. After a while, Jungkook finally admitted that the pain was quite severe. Jimin immediately called the medical staff and sat next to Jungkook throughout the treatment, holding his hand and saying, "Don't push yourself too hard. You're not alone." The words were simple, but for Jungkook, who always wanted to appear strong, they felt like a comforting embrace. Moments like this made many people believe that Jimin and Jungkook's relationship was truly special, deeper, more sincere, and stronger than what was shown on screen. Not only in difficult situations, their funny moments are always a favorite among ARMY. Jungkook often teases Jimin about his height, while Jimin responds by gently hitting Jungkook's shoulder while laughing. There's one incident fans will never forget, when Jimin tried to scold Jungkook with a serious expression, but Jungkook hugged him instead, saying, "Hyung, don't be mad, just smile." Jimin immediately blushed and laughed shyly, and ARMY melted seeing it. Simple interactions such as borrowing each other's hoodies, touching each other's hair, or staring at each other when they think no one is watching often become small proof of how close they are. Even on several occasions, when BTS was performing on stage, Jungkook was seen quietly approaching Jimin just to make sure he wasn't tired. And Jimin, with his hyung instincts, always knows when Jungkook needs a little encouragement to keep performing confidently. Their moment when BTS won a big award at a music show is also still etched in ARMY's hearts. Jungkook, who looked emotional at the time, suddenly hugged Jimin while hiding his face on his shoulder. Jimin immediately returned the hug, gently patting Jungkook's back. The camera captured the scene for only a few seconds, but it was enough to illustrate the depth of their relationship. No words were spoken, but everything was clear. That Jungkook felt safe, and Jimin understood that feeling without having to ask. Since BTS's debut, Jimin and Jungkook have been known as a complementary duo. Jungkook, the talented magne who is full of energy and often seen as mischievous, finds comfort in Jimin's gentle, caring, and sincere personality. Many ARMYs have noticed that the way they look at each other, the way they tease each other, and the way they look out for each other seems so natural, as if it's not just about ordinary friendship, but about a relationship that grows from a very strong sense of mutual trust. One of the moments most often discussed by ARMY is when Jungkook, despite being known for his independence and rarely showing weakness, spontaneously hugged Jimin after receiving praise from other members. It wasn't just any hug. There was a sense of relief, pride, and security radiating from Jungkook's expression, as if Jimin was the place where he could let go of all his pressure. Jimin responded with a gentle smile, as if saying without words that he would always be there for him. This isn't the only example. There are so many small moments scattered throughout BTS's journey. Moments that may seem ordinary to some, but are so meaningful to ARMY, who have been following them for years. For example, how Jungkook reflexively touches Jimin's shoulder whenever Jimin looks nervous, or how Jimin always makes sure Jungkook eats properly, even when their schedule is very busy. There is something about these small gestures that feels so personal and warm. Even in funny moments, the two never fail to make ARMY smile. Who can forget when they had a little argument about their favorite food, or when Jimin tried to calm Jungkook down when he was being too hyperactive? The way they joke around often makes them seem like two people who have understood each other for a long time. They don't need many words to understand each other, just a glance or a small gesture, and it's as if the whole room becomes warm just because of their interaction. It didn't stop there. There was also an emotional moment that still lingers to this day. During one of the backstage sessions, when BTS had just finished a big concert, Jungkook was seen holding back tears because he felt he hadn't performed as well as he had hoped. Jimin approached him without hesitation, hugged him tightly, and said softly that Jungkook had done his best, even more than that. The words were simple, but their impact was extraordinary. Jungkook bowed his head, tears falling, while Jimin held him tightly without letting go. ARMY, who saw the clip, knew there was a deep sense of trust there, one that couldn't be faked. Throughout their journey, both as idols and as human beings, Jungkook and Jimin have proven that warm relationships don't always have to be flaunted. In fact, the greatest strength of their relationship lies in the small moments that happen without cameras, without stages, without the spotlight. Their relationship isn't about making others believe. It's about two people who understand each other, support each other, and are there for each other when needed. Now, as more videos and stories emerge from behind the scenes, ARMY is beginning to see clearly what they have only felt all along, that the dynamic between Jungkook and Jimin is not just a casual interaction. There is a warmth, a comfort, and a sincerity that radiates whenever they are together. And perhaps this is the secret that has finally been revealed. Their relationship is not about drama or rumors, but about a bond that has grown stronger over time, through laughter, tears, and sincerity that cannot be faked. For ARMY, those small moments are more than enough to show that Jungkook and Jimin's closeness is real and beautiful. They are two hearts walking side by side, going through ups and downs as friends, partners, and siblings who protect each other. And like every story built on sincerity, their relationship grows warmer, deeper, and more precious with each passing year. That secret is no longer a secret. All the warmth, all the attention,